I will say good morning, Joseph.
Good morning, Dennis. And good morning to all of you.
Yes, all you. By the way, he's riding his motorcycle today. He's going up to the big city of Green Bay. Good for you. I hope the weather holds up.
Well, I mean, we're here at Holy Rosary. It's Thursday morning. It's about a little before 11, and the skies look very blue, and the sun looks like it's out. So that's what I was hoping for, anyway.
When I get done with this today, I might take our equipment back to Peter and Paul, go home and get my bike and just do that rather than, I might just do that. But we'll see.
I think that sounds good. We hope you are well. Wherever you are, if you've been able to visit us for Masses on the weekend, we thank God that you are feeling comfortable enough to do that. And certainly are grateful to have your presence. The good news is this last weekend here at Holy Rosary, and I was here this weekend, we saw the biggest crowd that we have for the 5-ish weeks or whatever that we've been open so far. On Saturday we had 80, which may not sound like a lot, but we were very happy with that. And on Sunday we had 95. It was wonderful. And I'm just very heartened to see little by little by little more people coming back. Saints Peter and Paul, I think, I don't remember, I think I want to say there was 40-ish on Saturday, but 70-ish or so, 70, 75 on Sunday. So again, little by little there, especially the Sunday Mass. And I don't remember St. Anne. I want to say it was between 50 and 60. So again, lots of room, but little by little more coming back, and hope that when you are comfortable, you will feel free to join us as well.
We look forward to that time, and I think you're right in terms of St. Anne. I talked to Donna this morning, and in the area 62, 65.
Oh, okay, there you go. So a little more than I was saying there.
Yeah, so that was really good to hear.
Well, and Lindsay, was it Lindsay? No, who just told us the Mass yesterday here at Holy Rosary had about 24. So
this morning at St. Anne, 20.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is all, the trend is going in the right direction.
Speaking of Masses, Roseanne Hirth and I just chatted this morning. And Roseanne was asking about praying the Rosary before Mass. And said, of course, we can do that. And so if you are here at Holy Rosary, we think even beginning this weekend, we're hoping to begin praying the Rosary about a half hour before. And so that would mean those last 10 minutes. So they'd finish about 10 minutes before Mass. And those last 10 minutes would be a time of quiet meditation and things as well. I don't know if we're going to start that at Peter and Paul yet. I haven't heard a word. But I do know at Holy Rosary, if it's not this weekend, I think most certainly would be next weekend to come and pray.
That's good news, to pray the Rosary and pray for the church, pray for all of us.
Yep.
In asking for our Blessed Mother
Amen.
To give her intercession to her Son, our Lord, and to bring him back.
Our parish here is Our Lady of the Holy Rosary.
Yes.
I think it's very appropriate that we do that.
Yes, absolutely, yeah. So that's good news, good stuff, Joel.
What do you got in your mind? What do we want to talk to the people about today?
Well, there's a lot of things. We're streaming the Mass. We had, I think there's a good thing. We're going to continue streaming the Mass for many reasons. For those who are uncomfortable still, and we want to do that. We have good response. We have good views on that. And then secondly, we have the assisted living and the nursing homes, who each one of them, we have 6 of them that Joe is the pastoral leader of in Hosing and Kiel, and these 6 are able to watch whenever they can, whether it's live when they stream it or it's whenever they schedule it, they're able to watch the Mass. So we're going to keep doing that. And I'm going to say we're going to, and I talked to Brian, and we're looking at getting Holy Rosary up to speed and recording the Mass. And I spoke to Brian about St. Anne. With the St. Anne, the issue becomes the internet. And how do we get that? And I've told Laura...
Interweb. What is the internet?
Yeah,
that's some newfangled thing, isn't it?
Yes. So we got to get it. We have to figure that part out. I believe Brian has some ideas, but we'll get... But so ultimately we want to get to where we're going to stream the Mass from all 3 locations, and then work out a schedule to do that.
So, we've used this term live streaming a lot, and it covers a great number of sins. But when you say it, Dennis, what you're saying is that when the Mass is recorded currently at Peter and Paul, but again, hopefully very soon at the others, at 4 o'clock on Saturday, people can tune in and watch it at that time, or at 5, or at 6, or at 7, or whatever. They don't have to wait until you upload it, maybe Saturday night, maybe Sunday morning. No, they can watch it.
Right.
So it's on your schedule. You can watch it live at 4, or on whatever your schedule is, Saturday night or Sunday morning. And that's a really big deal, and we're grateful you got that figured out. And I would love, Brian, if we can get things moving here at Holy Rosary sooner than later, let's do that.
Yeah.
Let's get Brian on that maybe next week.
Brian Bartle is his name, and we chose a YouTube channel. Thankfully, Brian gave that idea. A YouTube channel, particularly over Facebook, because YouTube, we're able to stream it live, but also record simultaneously. With YouTube, we stream it live. It's there for a brief time and it goes away. This way we can keep it'll live until maybe someday I'll delete a few of them, or we'll do whatever they are. But they're there for us to use at any given time, which would be handy for First Communions, confirmations, whatever the liturgy.
Some of the special ones.
Yeah, it'd be very handy for that and for that to see.
So we are still at 25% of capacity. That's nothing new. We've talked about that the last few weeks. Archdiocese of Milwaukee went to 50%, 50%, 2 weekends ago. I don't know if they are sticking with that or going to go back to 25%. I don't know how that is going. But with the number of cases on the rise currently, I don't see Green Bay doing that anytime soon. Haven't heard that. That's my conjecture only. But here's what we're doing. Up to this point, we have had tape on every other pew, and that limits, how we socially distance and where people can sit. Well, beginning this weekend, we're going to do something different. We're going to take that tape down, and we're going to place ribbons or some denoting factor, but ribbons is what I'm thinking, on each pew, 2 different colors. So I'll use green and blue. I'm not going to use green and gold. But let's say one pew has a green ribbon tied to it, and the next has a blue ribbon taped to it, and then green, and then blue, and then green and blue. What we would do is say here at Holy Rosary, 4 o'clock Mass, come in and you can sit in any pew that is marked with the green ribbon. And then on Sunday, when people come here at Holy Rosary for the 10, you can sit in any pew that has a blue ribbon. And at Kiel, we would do the same thing. 4 o'clock, you can come, because I want all of our parishes to do this. Sit in any pew that has a green ribbon, and Sunday morning at 9:30, sit in any pew that has a blue ribbon. And that way, we know that we are keeping socially distant, not only from each other, but we're not in pews that people were in the night before, and it helps with the cleaning aspect of it too. So we're trying to use the full church, help keep you safe in doing that. And so I'm not sure what the colors are. I just use green and blue as an example, but we hope to have those things set up in place even beginning this weekend. And the ushers will let you know what color. So again, we can all be on the same page and stay socially distant from each other.
That's a great idea.
Well, it wasn't mine. You're the one who told me about it. So he was complimenting himself.
Well, not really, but I'm glad he's implementing it. It makes it so much easier, Joel. And
Well,
I saw that at a parish, and I love the idea.
Yeah.
And there was a sign outside the door.
Okay.
It said this color today or Saturday, this color on Sunday, and then the ushers there, they help with it. And
Yep.
so it's just a wonderful idea, so that we can be rest assured that perhaps that pew wasn't, if we didn't get enough people to clean it that night, we able to at least take care of it the following day or whenever we get that done, but that you don't worry about sitting in that and being concerned with that. It's a great idea. Not mine. I stole it from someplace else. I handed it on to the
Those are
boss,
all
and he
good
took care
ideas.
of it.
But if you're nervous about that, don't worry. Don't worry. We'll have ushers, greeters telling you. And if nothing else, you look for one of us. Look for Deacons Randy or Pat. We'll be able to tell you what color. So it won't be a problem at all. Number of other things kind of going on. Confirmation retreat was yesterday. We had 23 students that will be confirmed this fall between our 3 linked parishes here, and we stayed on campus here at Holy Rosary. Yesterday it was from about 9 to 4. Usually it's a full day, but we didn't want to go off campus this year because of the circumstances. But it's one. Let me tell you, it's a really good class of 23 young men and women. Good people, intelligent people, committed people. I was very impressed with them. I got to spend a lot of time with them yesterday. And pray with them, eat with them, watch them play sheephead, teach them. We talked about, I particularly talked about the fruits of the Spirit. Other people, Dave Worrell, talked about the gifts of the Spirit. Kim Retlick talked about prayer. Laura talked about, art. Lindsay was in there with that. Lindsay was talking to him about confirmation names or something. I mean, it was just all kinds of different things. So it was really a good day.
That would have been with 23 of them there.
Yeah.
They had 24, but
24, one couldn't make it.
and that liturgy is going to be at St. Peter and Paul this fall.
Well, what a wonderful question. We don't have a date yet, and I think part of that is what's the circumstances, and can we get that many people and all their friends in one place, and would it be more wise to have the priests or whatever given the faculties? I'm sure the bishop is still pondering those.
All those questions need to be asked and answered, yeah. So, but they should get confirmed this fall. It's just a matter of the details.
Yep.
And the devil's always in the details.
Amen. So. Always.
Yeah.
Speaking of confirmed, do you have any news coming up for next weekend? And
well, the 2 people who are going to be brought into the faith, Ellen and Zach. Ellen will be baptized along with their daughter Olivia.
Yep.
And then she'll be confirmed and receive First Eucharist. Zach will be confirmed and receive First Eucharist as well. And we're planning on for next Saturday, the 24th. And they said Saturday works best because of the sponsor of Zach, his wife.
Yep.
Their family is in the farming business, so they want to be
they're
there for
farming
that.
during the day.
Yeah, so that's going on, and we're going to baptize. Joe and I, again, the devil's in the details. Joe and I have to work that out, but we want to baptize Ellen and her daughter Olivia in some kind of device or some kind of tub in front of the altar.
Not a hot tub. This is, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Danielle couldn't bring hers in.
Yeah, you're right. That's her problem. We got to get her in with that.
Yeah, so some kind of kiddie pool, whatever that's going to look like. But we want to do this so everybody sees it right in front of the altar, and they, believe me, we'll keep modesty in mind, and we'll go to the sacristy, the service sacristy, all of that will be done, and to make sure that
for sure.
the part that I'm excited about, Joe, is the sacrament is going to be celebrated abundantly. The water, Father will take the pitcher and pour it over them, and rather than just pour a little bit of trickle water over the baby's head, which is still full baptism, but this, I love celebrating that sacrament abundantly, and that's going to be exciting. Next Saturday. Yes.
Couldn't agree more. Saturday, the 24th, right, of July,
yes.
4 o'clock Mass, Peter and Paul. If you want to see it, experience it, be there. It's awesome.
Exactly.
Abundance, that's the key word.
Yeah, exactly.
God is abundant.
So that's going to be happening. And we have someone who's going to be, I'm working out with a parishioner here at Peter and Paul, St. Holy Rosary. I'll be working with her so she can be confirmed, and we're hopefully starting classes next week, and it'll be 4 sessions. I'll be meeting with her, and ultimately it'll be between 8 and 9 hours. I did some sketching and planning, and her and I will work with 8 to 9 hours of time that she needs to get her up to speed, and so there's a lot coming down the chute.
So the point is, if you know someone out there who isn't fully ready to, sacramentalized and would like to be baptized and pray with us or confirmed, we can make that happen. And so please just let us know, and we'll get them into the cycle, be it adult confirmation classes or be it RCIA or whatever it is. We can help them become fully initiated to pray with us. Let's switch to St. Anne. We haven't talked about St. Anne much yet. Let's talk about St. Anne.
Yeah.
They've got a special event coming up, not this coming Saturday, but about 2.5 weeks. And that is their Polka Mass, Saturday night. So here's what we need you to do, because this is really key. We got to have you praying for good weather. Listen, I have been at this Polka Mass for a number of years, and here's what you can pretty much do. You can pretty much schedule a torrential downpour based on exactly when they schedule the Polka Mass. That is the truth. You laugh, but it is true. And people at St. Anne, you know I'm telling the truth. So we need prayer for good weather this year, because obviously we're dealing with this pandemic, and social distancing will be imperative. Well, we got a wonderful big outdoor park that we're going to be doing this Polka Mass in. So people can easily be socially distanced one from another, and just in their families or with their spouses or their loved ones, and listen to the polka music and pray the Mass together. 4 o'clock Saturday, August 1st, be at Fireman's Park in St. Anne for this Polka Mass, and afterward they will be having people, we'll have our luncheon afterward, and we're not going to do prime rib this year because of all these circumstances, but there will be brats and burgers and doubles, of course, for both those. People will, with gloves and masks and everything, hand those out. There'll be less salads, and there'll be packaged things. In fact, that's what they said, is all this will be packaged, even desserts packaged. And so then you can carry it out and go home or go back out, and listen to the polka music or whatever that is to stay socially distanced. Boy, they really, the committee, I commend them. They've done a lot of good work in figuring how can we do this and honor people, keep them feeling safe, keep them safe in essence and in reality, but to have this celebration still.
That's so exciting to have that, because there's not too much of that going on around because of this pandemic. This will give an opportunity for everybody just to come out and worship together, but enjoy one another safely, but also to hear that music that they so long for that liturgy.
And to feel a little bit of normality. I mean, this is anything. 2020 has been anything but normal, and we all know that. But
there's only one drawback. There's only one drawback. Poor Joe won't have his prime rib.
That is a drawback.
He's really disappointed.
I want to talk to the committee about that, because I did not have a say in that. I'm looking at you, John Oslos. I'm like, oh man, how am I going to get by with just a double burger? That's not going to.
Well, have a double brat. Maybe put a brat on top of a hamburger.
Like an oos burger.
Yeah, those are pretty good.
It's not the same thing, man. It's not the same thing. Hey, are you looking for the healing presence of Christ in your life, in whatever way, physically, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, in this time of pandemic? Who isn't in need of that? This Saturday, Peter and Paul, after Mass, we will have an anointing service.
Yes.
So Saturday, what would that be? July the 18th?
18th, yes. July 18th, yes. After the 4 o'clock Mass,
Yep,
yeah.
Yep. So
Definitely.
feel free to come by. We'd love to have you there. I mean, you don't even have to come for Mass if you just want to come for the anointing, and just come. Wear a mask. Of course, we're urging people to do that. We're not going to mandate anybody, but we would invite people to do that, and just come and sit toward the front, and we'll take care of things from there. So
We talked about that last live from the living room, and so if you know of anyone who is under the weather and however that it looks, and urge them and or bring them.
Yeah.
And for that, even if it's after Mass, they can come after, like Joe said, after Mass. But just urge them to come there, because emergency come up so quickly, and it's hard to attend each one. So this will give an opportunity to hopefully bridge all that.
Yep, amen. A couple other things. Parish offices are open. You know that. We've mentioned that before. But if you're in need of script, if you're in need of talking with someone, if you're in need of just checking in with Kim or Sue or Laura, you can do that. St. Anne and Holy Rosary, Monday through Thursday, 9 to noon. Friday closed. St. Peter and Paul, Monday through Thursday, 9 to 2. Friday closed, but Friday certainly by appointment. Please know that if there are anything you need along those lines. Also wanted to mention Saints Peter and Paul. You may not have come back yet and seen this, and if you have, you may not have kind of strolled through, but that space on the north side between the school and the church, that where the breezeway connects the two, the space outside, Mary has been there for about the last year and a half on her little lonesome, just kind of protecting that area. Well, in the last about 3 weeks, 4 weeks, a garden has been built up there. Thanks to some memorials. We had about 3 or 4 memorials that were given in that name, in that honor of that Mary garden. And so Honeymoon Acres came by under the direction of Deacon Pat. Thank you, Deacon Pat. And put this gorgeous garden together, mulched lots of vegetation, lots of plants and things. But if you are a green thumb, and I'm not, I don't know about you.
No.
Not my gift.
Not close.
But if you are, and you love to do things like that, we are in need of 1 or 2 people, 1 or 2 times a week, just to check in on that garden and make sure it's getting water, make sure that the things are being taken care of. And so please contact Kim at Peter and Paul if that is something that gives you joy and gives you life. It does not do so for me, but if there are people, we want to keep that area looking beautiful, because for years it was just kind of a rundown, area in between, but now it's really something to be proud of. So if that's something that you could do, we'd love to have your help with that.
There's a nice bench in there for if you want to pause and reflect, pray. There's a bench right across from Mary, so it really is a beautiful area, done well. And it was Deacon Pat's last task he had to complete before he fully could retire from here. So
and you don't even have to sit and pray if you're sitting on the bench. If you want to bet the ponies and you're looking at the sheet, you can look at the sheet and figure out which race and which one you want to bet on during that time. Right? It's all we welcome all kinds to sit on that bench.
Exactly.
Speaking of prayer, the Adoration Chapel up in Chilton, I'm sure a number of you watching this have been up there before, or maybe you even have a weekly time slot. It is going to reopen coming up here, not this coming weekend, but the weekend following, July the 26th. So that's Sunday, July 26th. If you are looking just for time to spend before the Blessed Sacrament in a way of adoration and prayer, that is open beginning July 26th. I know that they limit to 3 or 4 at a time in the chapel, but I also know there are a number of openings for hours if you are looking for something and say, hey, I'm going to dedicate an hour a week to this, and whatever that is, whether that's during the day or night. I know that they would take you, but that's open for prayer. And our 3 parishes, we've told you this before, are open for prayer Monday at Peter and Paul, 4 to 5, for Blessed Sacrament, the adoration of the Blessed Sacrament. Holy Rosary here is Wednesday, 4:30 to 5:30, just last night. And St. Anne, Friday, 4 to 5. So again, other prayer opportunities. Dennis, why don't you describe what on earth is going on outside here? And maybe we can even show them was that too much to move the camera? And
we could go out there. But I was talking to
Jim.
Maybe
we do that at the end.
Yeah, we'll do that. Jim McNally told me what's all going on out there, and they're out there digging, and they're putting in, I'm going to call it a tile line,
They're digging, yeah.
and they're a pipe.
Yep.
It's a tiling. They have a big catch basin, they call that, right to the, as you walk out of the rectory to the right, where the water coming down the hill is supposed to enter into, along with a pipe coming from the downspout on that end of the rectory, and then it's going to go out to the curbing out there.
Yep.
It is a mess.
Sewer system out there. Yeah.
It is a storm sewer, and they're planning on pouring and setting up frames for 5-foot wide sidewalk from the rectory out to out to the curb and gutter, and 5 foot wide. There was a curve in the sidewalk originally. That's going to be gone. It's just going to be a straight shot out there. That's what Jim said to me yesterday. It's a mess.
If nothing else, they know how to make a mess, and we'll show you. I think I'm just about done. I think I've covered everything on my list. Oh, one other thing before we take you out and show you this mess and say that's what we'll leave you with. Graduates.
Yes.
Dennis, in New Holstein here, the high school is celebrating their graduation this coming Sunday, and I believe Kiel is this coming Thursday, a week from today. Because of that, we're inviting the graduates here at New Holstein to come celebrate Mass with us on Sunday and their families and receive a blessing this weekend. And on Kiel, we're going to do it the Sunday following that, so the 26th at the 9:30 Mass there. But again, invite graduates, their families, to come by, fully vested in their cap and gown. And we want to honor them and bless them as they prepare to enter into this next phase of their life. And we all know it's taken a lot longer than we want to honor them because of everything going on in our life, but at least, again, we can do so.
The major milestone is those young people have accumulated and graduated toward. It's a phenomenal, and come out and celebrate with them. And I hope we get a good turnout with that. But it's something we need to give them credit to and honor that. And not only the kids, the young people, but mom and dads. The mom and dads, they you know that, Joe. I know that.
Yeah.
We need to thank them for their commitment to that. And award them with that little bit of a joy and let them kind of puff out their chest, say, that's my child.
We did that too. Yeah,
we did that. So that's a way to honor the entire community.
Yeah.
And I think that's important. So at least pray for that, and maybe you can see this or hear about it later, but know that we'll be honoring them.
Last thing I'll say, and then let's take the camera out and just show you the mess, and thank you for joining us this week, is reminder about podcasts. I do a podcast Monday through Friday called Cup of Joe. I think many of you on the other end of this line, I mean, podcasts are something that are pretty familiar now with a large population in our country. And what I do, it's simple. It's usually about 15 minutes, give or take, Monday through Friday, every day. I just read the gospel of the day, reflect on it, and pray one decade of the rosary. That's it. You can find it in one of two places, or search for it online. If you listen to podcasts, whatever your app is, I use Podkicker, but other people use many other ones. You can search for it on iTunes, search for it through Spotify. Most places that you have podcasts will have it. It's simply called Cup, that's an O with an apostrophe behind it, Joe, Cup of Joe. And every day you would get a new one. And you can listen to it at your convenience to download. Or the other place you can go on is Peter and Paul's website, which very soon, by the way, will be all three of our website. Hopefully in the next week. We'll be talking to you about that next week. But right now it's Peter and Paul, ssppkiel.org. And you can go down and there's a little button. I think it's a purple microphone that says podcast, and you can hit that. And every day it's downloaded there too.
I suspect purple was Joe's chosen color.
I did not even have anything to do with it. I think God did. I think that God knew it was the regal, color of, I'd say color of victory, but we all know that's not true. Maybe it's just cruel irony, but I did not have anything to do with it.
Regal? Okay, I'll accept that.
All right, show them what we got out
just
there.
get the camera and we'll go on out
Bless
there.
you all.
We're just about there. Here we go.
I will open the doors.
So here's our wonderful mess. As you can see, that big pipe on the
So
ground.
that'll be the collecting basin right there?
Yep, that catch basin, collecting basin, and you can see up the way there's a gravel trail. There's a pipe in the ground that's connected to that big pipe, and there's a pipe coming out of that catch basin, that collection unit that goes across, and then it's going to go straight out to the curb there. And there's a pipe, if you look back here, next to the rectory door, you see right here, that's connected. In fact, you can see that pipe right connected.
Sure enough.
And that's going out.
The downspout there.
And so that's a mess out here. You can see quite a mess here.
So will that be a clear out there, Dennis?
That water will be coming into that. There'll be a screen on the top of that. All the water coming down the hill will hopefully channel into there.
Okay.
And then, most of it, and then it's going to go out to the curb. And they have to have a certain grade on it, so it goes downhill. And what that'll do is, I understand, it will hopefully eliminate the water that stood on the sidewalk throughout the year when they had a good heavy rain downpour.
And if people are wondering, where we're getting the money for this, it's, I want to say it's between 4 and 5. I want to say it's about $4,500. And that comes out of the Buildings and Grounds Maintenance Fund for Holy Rosary.
The sidewalk leaving from here, the sidewalk here, going out to the curb, is going to be 5 foot wide, and previously it was you can see it was sort of a curve onto it. I'm told it's going to be a 5 foot wide straight out to the sidewalk out on by the street. So
There we go.
there's a little bit of work going on here.
So
But again,
drive on by, do a drive by, and check out the progress every day.
yeah, and then if you see Jim McNally, make sure you tell him how much you
Or give him a
appreciate
hard
his
time.
work,
And
but
give-
also give him a hard time.
For sure. All right, everybody.
Okay, thank you. Say goodbye, Joe.
Goodbye, Joe.
Goodbye, everyone. Bye.